Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilman Bedlar to lead us in prayer and Councilman Pat Lewis to lead us in the pledge.
We, the members of the Lafayette City Parish Council, having been chosen to represent the people of this locality, beg of thee, Almighty God, to enlighten our minds so that our work will be just and fair in all things. Give us the courage and strength to fulfill our duties according to the laws of the land, and in so doing, fulfilling also thy holy will on earth and in heaven, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilman Bedlar. Thank you, Councilman Lewis. Appreciate it very much. Hope everyone had a great day and hope everyone had a great Easter. Thank you for being here this evening. We'll go ahead and get the meeting started. We welcome you to the Lafayette City Parish Council meeting. We, as your representatives in the Lafayette Consolidated Government, welcome your involvement and encourage your participation. This meeting is a public hearing. If you wish to address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form in the foyer on the computer provided. The request to address the council form must be filled out completely and submitted prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given opportunity to speak. If assistance is needed with submitting the request, our staff is available and willing to help you. If you have materials you wish to submit to the council, please give those to Ms. Veronica Williams prior to the call of the agenda item. Ms. Veronica is seated to my left, your right. In an effort to allow everyone an opportunity to be heard, there is a 5-minute rule that will be in effect. Speakers shall refrain from debating, personal attacks, and from making confrontational and derogatory comments. In the event a speaker has completed their comments and got all of their questions answered prior to the expiration of their allotted 5 minutes, any remaining time shall be forfeited at that time. Bless you. I'm requesting that the first row to my left be used for media only. Lastly, food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium, and all phones and electronic devices shall be silenced from this point forward. I'm also requesting that anyone who approaches the council, please state your name and title for the official record. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. Documents, including tonight's agenda, ordinances, resolutions, and minutes related to this meeting, are posted online at LafayetteLA.gov, or you may refer to the web address on the top of the agenda. The council encourages your involvement and participation by volunteering for boards and commissions. If you are interested in finding out which board suits your interests, we ask that you call 291-8800, or please pick up a pamphlet at the door. Moving right along to chair announcements. Councilmember Mr. Nick Cook had a prior speaking engagement, but will be attending here shortly. Also, please note item 8 on the agenda. Habsburg Lane Bridge replacement has been deferred indefinitely at the request of Public Works. Item number 9 on the agenda, 325 Yearling Road, condemning it, is being pulled at the request of Development and Planning. No action taken due to the building has already been demolished. Also, item 16, ordinance 0-43, 2018, joint collaboration agreement has an amendment as per legal to both the ordinances and agreement to provide for joint ownership and to remove unnecessary dates. That's item 16. Item 24, 0-46, 2018, SLCC electric lineman training course is being pulled from the Englobo introductory ordinances in order to have a separate discussion and vote at the request of Councilmember Boudreaux. Item 26, 0-48, 2018, Parish Bridge Improvements Project is being pulled from the Englobo introductory ordinances in order to have separate discussion and vote at the request of Councilman Boudreaux. Item 28, 050-2018 Recreational Trail Program Grant is being pulled from the Englobo introductory ordinances and deferred until April 17th meeting for introduction at the request of Community Development. All right. Moving right along to council announcements. Mr. Conk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to make everyone aware that you need to wish our council chair, Kevin Nakhan, a happy birthday on April the 5th.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to make the public aware that early voting for the April 28th election will begin on April the 14th, run through the 21st. That's excluding on Sunday, April the 15th. And the voting registrar's office will be open from 8:30 to 6 on each of those dates. And just as a reminder, we have 2 parish property taxes on the ballot, one for the Lafayette Parish Library, which is operations, maintenance, and improvements, the other for the Parish Juvenile Detention Facility for acquisitions, improvements, operation, and maintenance. And if you live in the city of Lafayette, we are asking for a renewal on property taxes for streets and also for recreation. So please take advantage of your opportunity to tell us what you want from your government in terms of taxation, April 28th. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. On a quick note, we'd like to welcome Mr. Mike Hebert back. He is, did administration make a change? Nobody notified me. I was just making sure. It was Mr. Escott's out? Okay, you would, okay. All jokes aside, Mike, you're filling in for Mr. Escott tonight. Thank you for being here. Just wanted to tell you hello. All right. Mr. Boudreaux, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's a little odd. It's good, though. It's good to see Mike. Just a couple of things, and I don't see Terry here, so I'm going to direct this to the administration. I'm going to need some assistance. I wanted to address this at LPUA, but some obligations did not allow me to make the LPUA meeting. But I'm going to need some information. On this weekend, I witnessed a press release or a notification via the media about some efforts that LUS and Fiber has made in preparation for Festival International. And let me be clear as I preference this statement. As in every other case, I don't have a problem of when we're doing something good for the right reason for someone else. I have a problem that when needs have been identified, they have still not been addressed. So in this particular publication, they featured the LED lights that's going to be downtown to illuminate the sidewalks and make it more visible for people, and they tied it to safety. And I'm going to go on record again and say that the unsafest places in Lafayette is places that I represent and Mr. Lewis represent. And we don't have LED lights yet. And if we're going to put those types of issues on the back of safety, we're going to have to go to the most unsafe places first, okay? Then they talked about the fiber. They talked about how the police department and our camera systems, and again, they tied it to safety. And yet again, I've been in some discussions over the 10 years that I have been here, and I know you've only been here 2 of those 10, but where it has been difficult to get that type of access. So that was very, very frustrating for me, again. I feel we have failed those constituents where yet our poor constituents and our underserved constituents remain in that same category. So what I'm requesting is I need to know what is the in-kind level of services as well as any cash services that we provide for, specifically for Festival International. And I want that from LUS, but I want it from all departments across the board and what we're doing for that particular event. Secondly is the digital divide. I was not on this council when fiber came into effect, but I followed it very closely and I supported it at that time. And I am not aware of anything that has been done specifically to address the digital divide. We were supposed to have services in housing authority facilities, recreational facilities, and I thank you because we are deploying that now. So let me say that for the record. I thank you, but it has been slow in coming. places where students will have towers or some means of accessing it in the community without having to spend what is very expensive to bring to the home. I haven't seen it. If it exists, I don't see it. I would like to know, what is it that we have in place at LUS Fiber that specifically addresses the digital divide for poor and underserved families to have access to the internet to be able to do the things that we said that would do, okay? My frustration is every time I see some special event come to town, we're able to deliver those services. And for those who are in this situation on a daily basis, our citizens, for some reason, we haven't been able to do it. So tonight, I respectfully ask, I need to see what we're investing, how we're investing it, and when we're investing it. And again, I understand Terry isn't here, but I need to know what we're going to do going forward. Because if we need to, we'll be in the budget process very soon. And if that's where this needs to be addressed, I want to address it. But to continue on, especially in these last few years that I have on this council, to continue to be set aside, but yet events of this nature continues to get served is just unacceptable for me, and I can't face my community in doing so. So if we're going to make places safe, let's go to the unsafe places and make them safe. If we're going to light things up and do things better, let's go to the places where the greatest need exists. Let's fix that, and we're going to work our way back. And that's my request. And again, I never tried to sandbag anyone. That's not my style. I couldn't make LPUA, but festival is around the corner, and this needed to be, I need these answers prior to. But I could tell you, I've been asking them for 10 years. And I hope now we could get a response. I need this information to prepare for this upcoming budget cycle. That's the only thing I have, Mr. Chairman, as it relates to announcements, and I thank you for allowing me to do so.
No problem. Mayor President Robodeau?
Thank you. Is this in response to Kenneth, or is this the Mayor President's report?
No, I don't see any other council announcements, but I was about to go to you if there was not.
Okay, well then we'll just do it all together. Just in response to Councilman Boudreaux, I want you to know that I think all of those points are valid, and certainly we will get you the answers to it, because I'm interested in getting answers to those questions also. So thank you for the questions, and we will definitely look into all of that and then put a plan in place that we can take care of as much of it as possible. Thank you. The first item on the Mayor President's report, I'm gonna bring Skyra Rito up with maybe some other folks too for a presentation. And Skyra, the floor is yours.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For those of you who don't know me, and for the general public, my name is Skyra Rito, and I have the distinct pleasure and privilege of serving in the Mayor President's office and doing what I call the fun part of his job and running the Project Front Yard program. I'm gonna pull up, Liz, is it on the desktop here? I'm gonna pull up a presentation. So Project Front Yard has been working in partnership with a lot of the people and businesses in the community here since 2014. And what we do is we engage with civic organizations and businesses in the community who are actively engaged in transforming the landscape of Lafayette. And what that means is addressing beautification and litter abatement initiatives. And so this specific application is going to address data-driven implementation of projects. So calculating the cost of litter abatement and enforcement and tracking community projects and focusing on accomplishing comprehensive plan items. Over the course of the next year, we will be looking for new and exciting ways to use data to implement new initiatives and enhance and expand partnerships. As you know, our mayor president has been focusing on technology and the intersection of culture and technology, and we think that this is a really great step in addressing that here this evening. This new approach will help guide the strategic focus of Project Front Yard and is important for measuring impact and reporting accountability. A lot of the times we're doing a lot of the work in the community here in Lafayette and in other areas, but there's no way to measure what that work is actually doing for people in our community. And how do we track that and report that back to the citizens? So we are excited to be launching the Gnome Nation application, telling you a little bit about how it came to be and what it's actually going to provide for the community. Also, during the Robodeau report on April 12th, we'll be doing a soft launch, so everyone in the community is invited to go to gnomenation.lafayette.gov and go ahead and sign up for the account and start participating in projects. But I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm going to introduce Will Labar from CGI, who's going to tell you a little bit about how this partnership came to be and what we actually were able to create.
Thanks, Skyra. My name is Will Labar. I'm with CGI Federal, and we're really excited to be here today to share with you the project that we've been working on with Skyra and team. And I think, Ben is going to talk to you a little bit, as well as Elizabeth, about some of the features of the application, but I just wanted to mention real quick that if you can take a look at the screen, this is more importantly for us a workforce development initiative. This application that is going to be launched in April was built by a group of interns from UL, LSU, as well as one student from Karen Crow AOIT. And it is our first effort to bring a high school intern into CGI here locally as a part of our commitment to create 400 jobs in the community. And so we're really excited about the fact that we're able to give these students a chance to learn how to use technology to enhance quality of life in Lafayette. And then after the project was done with their internship, we ended up hiring one who's here with us today who's going to present some of their work. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to let Ben and Elizabeth kind of walk you through what the application is.
Hey, I'm Ben Matkin. I'm a senior consultant at CGI, and I will raise this microphone. There we go. Okay, so Gnome Nation is a web application, and it was designed to work great and look great on mobile, but it also works in any browser. So you can open up on a browser on your phone, and it looks great, but you can also open it up on a desktop. So the whole idea is that Lafayette community members can log in, they can sign up, and they can create projects that support Project Front Yard's efforts. So beautification, cleaning, education, events. And then these projects can also be subscribed to or joined by other members of the community. So what you see on the screen here is the first thing you see when you go to the site is a map, and it is displaying all of the projects created by Lafayette community. And you can click one, you can see before and after pictures. So in this example, we have a Girard Park cleanup event, and you see it's cleaned up after. So it creates a really great history of projects completed by the Lafayette community. Go ahead. Yeah. You can also filter using this map, and you can view past projects, but you can also view future projects if you're interested in joining something in your area. Or maybe there's a user who has created projects. You can even search by the username. So if you like the user J Robodeau Rocks, you can find projects he's created as well on the map.
He likes it.
So there you go. Landed. So that's how you filter through the map. So there's a great view there. And I'll pass it off to Elizabeth.
I'm going to have to lower this microphone a bit. I'm Elizabeth Hess, and I am one of the developers for the Gnome Nation application. This is another aspect of the application that we came up with, which was gamification. It was a means to encourage users to continually make new projects, participate in new ones, and kind of keep track of all their milestones. So that's why we have the My Gnomes section, which is kind of your little badges to show you the different gnomes you've collected. So if you created a user, if you made your first project, if you joined your first project, things like that. We also have our leaderboard, which shows where you are at the top and then shows you where everyone else is. And you earn more points by being more active on the application. Another aspect that we had was that whenever you have these projects, you're going to need supplies for it. So what we came up with was a neat little checklist so that way you can provide the items that you are going to bring and asking your volunteers who are coming to participate in the project to check off what they can bring as a means to keep track of what you have and what you will need to bring the day of the project.
And so the benefits of this to our community is, I don't know how many of you are aware, but Project Front Yard is currently active in about 4 parishes here in Lafayette. We have the opportunity for people to log in from throughout the parish and log projects in Lafayette and also in other parishes where we are active. So it gives us the opportunity to show the world what our citizens are doing here, not just on a local level, but also on a regional level. It provides data, who's volunteering, how much are they volunteering, where are they doing the projects. But it also lets us identify gaps. Where are projects not happening? Where do we need to start focusing more of our efforts? And we have an opportunity here to show the community what that economic impact actually looks like to Lafayette. There is a direct economic cost to people engaging in civic participation in the community as volunteers. And you can calculate that cost and tell the community we had 700 volunteers who did 10,000 projects, and that resulted in, I don't know, $1 million to Lafayette Parish in terms of our citizens participating in community engagement and beautification. So we're really excited to be able to bring this application to the community, get people involved and engaged, and start getting them more active in doing projects here locally and in the region as well. So thank you all for the opportunity to present. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you all download the Gnome Nation application and start doing projects with us in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Skyra, and all the folks at CGI. And again, we hear buzzwords all the time, public-private partnerships, P3, all that. This is a perfect example of when the public sector gets with a private corporation to do something that benefits the community in ways that, from a long-term perspective, is really going to set Lafayette apart and allow us to organize ourselves, incentivize ourselves, and do some really great things. So to the team of Gnome Nation, thank you all very much. And Skyra, obviously, thank you for everything you've done with Project Front Yard. All right, the first proclamation, and I'm going to read fast, members, because we do have quite a few. The first proclamation is our Community Development Week. Whereas the Community Development Department, composed of a diverse group of programs, activities, partners with community organizations in federal, state, and local governments, and that activities administered and delivered by the Community Development Department rely heavily on the dedication and goodwill of their combined efforts. And whereas the Housing and Federal Programs Division applies for and manages grant funds received from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the state of Louisiana, and other funding sources for a variety of purposes, including the construction and rehabilitation of affordable housing, down payment assistance to first-time home buyers, acquisition of firefighter safety equipment, and street water and drainage improvement projects. And whereas the Hyman Performing Arts and Convention Center offers enrichment to the community by facilitating theater arts, dance, music, cultural, and community events. And whereas the Lafayette Science Museum partners with local educational institutions and experts in the field to serve families, schools, and tourists through entertaining educational experiences designed to encourage interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. And whereas the Acadiana Park Nature Station seeks to I don't know how to pronounce this word. Acclimate, how about that? Reacclimate humans to their natural surroundings through the provision of environmental education programs to school groups, the general public, nonprofit organizations, and other groups. And whereas the Neighborhood Counseling Services Program provides comprehensive housing counseling and supportive services to low and moderate income persons through one-on-one counseling and educational classes. And whereas the Greenhouse, Rose House, and Art Studios senior centers provide opportunities for senior citizens to socialize and enjoy recreational activities at little to no cost. And whereas the Ticket to Work program assists Social Security beneficiaries to obtain jobs that may lead to careers so that they may become financially independent. Now, therefore, I, Joel Robideau, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby acknowledge the accomplishments of the Community Development Department and give special thanks and recognition to all participants whose hard work and devotion help to enhance the quality of life within the Lafayette community. And in celebration of those contributions, I do hereby declare April 2nd through 6th, 2018 as Community Development Week.
I just really quickly want to thank my staff for the hard work that they've done with all of the events that we have planned for this week. I know we're pressed for time, but just want to publicly say that my staff is excellent. This is our second year doing this, and we're off to an excellent start for another year. So thank you. And thank you, Mr. Robideau.
Thank you, and I failed to mention that Dr. Shanae Nelson heads up all of those efforts, and so Dr. Nelson, thank you so much. Next proclamation is for National Public Health Week, and is Bradley here? Yeah, Bradley, if you want to start making your way up. Whereas the life expectancy of the United States population declined for the first time in more than 2 decades, and the leading cause of deaths are among the most common, costly, and preventable of all health problems. And whereas the health behaviors of Lafayette residents are all below the national median, and whereas the health factors and subsequent health outcomes of Lafayette's residents lag behind those of other communities in Louisiana and the U.S., and whereas the value of a strong public health system is in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the places where we all live, learn, work, and play, and whereas studies show that small strategic investments in prevention can result in significant savings in healthcare costs. And whereas public health professionals collaborate with partners outside the health sector, such as city planners, transportation officials, education officials, private sector businesses, and recognize that other sectors have an important influence on health. And whereas in communities across Acadiana, people are changing the way they care for their health by avoiding tobacco use, eating healthier, becoming more physically active, and preventing unintentional injuries at home and in the workplace. And whereas Healthy Acadiana is a Healthy Communities Coalition whose mission is to improve social, economic, and physical environment factors that contribute to a healthier mind, body, and spirit for Acadiana's residents. Now, therefore, I, Joel Robideau, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the week of April 2nd through 8th, 2018 as National Public Health Week. Bradley, did you want to say a few words?
No, just thank you very much for that. And if you're at Park San Souci, we worked yesterday to repaint the Lafayette sign. So thanks for that opportunity and spreading that healthy message. Thank you very much.
Next proclamation is the National Library Week. Is Teresa here? For which one?
National Health Week.
Oh, we have a presentation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Nanette had worked on something for National Public Health Week.
Oh,
And-
yeah. I'm glad I'm not in that video. But there's a lot of folks that
She
are.
tried to get them in.
So this is what Women's Foundation, we did not have J. Robideau Rocks on there.
That's good.
But it's a 1-minute wall challenge that anyone can do at home, at work, or at play, and it's just a way to incorporate quick physical activity into your day.
Anyone can try to do.
Go V. Go V. In the woods.
And that's a true wall sit, no photoshopping of chairs or anything. Spit the challenges out to the other communities, 60 seconds, start increasing your physical activity, easy to do. Thank you.
Thanks, Bradley.
Bruce has been doing that for several years now, every day. That's how he rides the bike.
All right, was Teresa here? Okay, good. The next proclamation for National Library Week. Whereas libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do for and with people. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions, and library workers and librarians fuel efforts to better their communities, campuses, and schools. Whereas librarians are leaders in their institutions and organizations, in their communities, and in the nation and in the world. And whereas librarians continue to lead the way in leveling the playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies. And whereas libraries and librarians look beyond their traditional roles and provide transformative opportunities for education, employment, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and engagement, as well as new services that connect closely with patrons' needs. And whereas libraries and librarians lead their community's innovation, providing STEAM programming, maker spaces, and access and training for new technologies, and whereas libraries are pioneers supporting democracy and affecting social change with a commitment to providing equitable access to information for all library users, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas libraries lead in working with diverse communities, including people of color, immigrants, and other people with disabilities, offering services and educational resources that transform communities, open minds, and promote inclusion and diversity. Whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating Library Week, now therefore I, Joel Robideau, Mayor President of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the week of April 8th through 14th, 2018 as National Library Week, and encourage everyone to visit a library this week and explore the services and resources offered at your library and engage with the librarians. Teresa?
I just want to say that this is the 60th year of celebrating National Library Week. Accepting this proclamation are Blair Stapleton with the Dupre Library at UL, Catherine Rolfus at the library at South Louisiana Community College, and Kay Victorian with the Lafayette Parish School System Libraries. In addition, we have law libraries and medical libraries in this parish. We celebrate not only public libraries, but libraries throughout our parish that provide a diversity of service that's vital to the education and lifelong learning to all the parish citizens. Thank you.
And finally, the proclamation for National Service Recognition Day. We have Susanna Malbrough here and others with Smile, Ray Logan with Vista. And so if y'all want to make your way up, I'll read the proclamation, and I have one for each of the groups. Whereas service to others is a hallmark of the American character and central to how we meet our challenges, whereas the nation's counties and cities are increasingly turning to national service and volunteerism as a cost-effective strategy to meet their needs, whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants address the most pressing challenges facing our communities, from educating students for the jobs of the 21st century to fighting the opioid epidemic, to responding to natural disasters, to supporting veterans and military families. And whereas national service expands economic opportunity by creating more sustainable, resilient communities and providing education, career skills, and leadership abilities for those who serve, and where AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants serve in more than 50,000 locations across the country, bolstering the civic, neighborhood, and faith-based organizations that are so vital to our economic and social well-being. And whereas National Service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages non-federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayer dollars. And whereas the Corporation for National and Community Service shares a priority with local leaders nationwide to engage citizens, improve lives, and strengthen communities, and is joining with the National League of Cities, the National Association of Counties, Cities of Service, and local leaders across the country for National Service Recognition Day on April 3rd, 2018. Now, therefore, I, Mayor President Joel Robideau of Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim April 3rd, 2018 as National Service Recognition Day.
Thank you so much. We're happy to be here. I'm Susanna Johnson-Malbrough, the RSVP Project Director. Normally, I'd like to address you, but we do have a guest from out of town, Ms. Laura Grady, who is the Interim State Director for the Corporation of National and Community Service. So I'd like her to address you. And just in case, I did contact a number of you for a video, and if you haven't had a chance, you can go to social media and check out the video of the elected officials saying thank you to the volunteers in our area because they make such an impact, an economic impact in our community. Laura.
Mr. Mayor President and honored council members, I'm very grateful to be here today and to thank you all for joining the more than 5,200 elected officials from around the country who are today recognizing the contribution of our national service members. And in particular, I thank you for recognizing the contribution of the nearly 5,000 AmeriCorps and Senior Corps members who are currently serving in Louisiana and providing important community-based solutions throughout this state. Thank you for your proclamation, and thank you for recognizing our national service members.
Thank you.
We could.
Okay. I'm Ray Logan with 232 Help, and we wanted to thank you for the proclamation and also for the recognition of our VISTA, which is VISTAs are college graduates who take a gap year to volunteer all over the country of the United States, and they are not unpaid. And our volunteer here is Dania. And Dania is from the University of Colorado, and she is on her way to law school in August, and she has done an absolutely remarkable job with us here. So thank her very much.
I'm with the university, and we are the only AmeriCorps that's affiliated with university in Louisiana. We have 30 AmeriCorps members. They're quarter time, and they do an entire service year. And I just wanted to say thank you for being here and recognizing us. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you. All right, and finally, I'll turn it over to Ms. Lori Toops, our CFO, to go over item F.
Thank you. F is our monthly budget to actual comparison of major funds. This is in accordance with the new statewide auditing procedures, and it's required that this be referenced in our minutes. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me, and any information I can give you, be happy to provide it.
All right. Not seeing any, so thank you so much. Moving right along, excuse me, moving to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and the electronic speaker form is available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Liz, can you please read?
Resolution 18, 2018. A resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council approving Advanced Products and Systems, LLC, for participation in the Industrial Tax Exemption Program at 108 Asset Avenue, Scott, Louisiana, 70583.
Okay, at this time, council, we did receive a call from the actual business from Advanced Products and Service Systems, and they had requested that we defer the item to April 17th's meeting due to the fact that they would like to gather some more information and help answer any questions that the council may have. There also was some legislative stuff that was done in Baton Rouge that was pulled, so there's a whole lot of things that are moving, and I think it's myself, I agree that it was in the best interest that we probably defer it so we can wrap our arms around exactly what's being considered and what does the program look like and what is Baton Rouge doing. So they called and requested through the council that we defer it, so I'm going to ask for a motion and a second for deferral. Got a motion by Councilman Conk and a second by Councilman Cook. Councilman Bellard?
Yes, even though we are probably going to defer this, I just want to go on the record. It's going to be very hard for me when I already tell the citizens in the parish area when I can't fix roads, I can't fix bridges, I have problems fixing drainage problems, to use any portion of doing away with any parish taxes such as this. I'm always open to discussion. We're deferring it, and I will continue to educate myself. But for the record, in this economy, it's very hard for me to tell someone that I can't overlay your road, I can't fix X, Y, and Z, and then to go and give a company for how many years it is free in taxes, no matter the amount. So for the record, and like I said, I'm open from here on out because we are deferring it, but just want to get that out there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No problem. In relation to that, I feel the same way. I met with the media and several people. Just my take on it. I mean, I want to know all the facts and understand the program, obviously to know more what's going on, but as chairman and as part of the finance liaison committee team and being on the council long enough to see the shortfalls and pitfalls, you know, I kind of feel the same way. We're just not in a situation where we have all these deficits and businesses are looking for tax breaks. It's a good economic tool if everything was great, if we had all this money in reserve and we had all of these roads completed and we had drainage and we had bridges and we had parks and recreation, fire protection. If there was a whole bunch of money to go around and we were doing our job, but I have a tough time asking the public and letting them know we have shortfalls in areas and decrease in revenue, and yet we consider giving tax breaks. So I'm on the same line as Mr. Bellard, but I definitely want to give the business an opportunity to understand what the program's about, what's the details, and how does that impact the parish in the future, being if these things were to start passing. As I understand it, there's more and more that will come to this council as well as the school board, as well as the sheriffs. So, you know, it's a lot of information, but we have a motion on the floor. And before I go to that, I do have a couple of council members that would like to comment. Mr. Cohn?
First, I do concur with the remarks made by Mr. Bellard and Mr. Nakam, but I just want to clarify or expand on the reason why I'm asking for a deferral. We as a council really became aware of the resolution only when the agenda was published last Thursday. The request for the exemption was turned in to our council office on March the 16th. And in reading the executive order that was issued last year by Governor Edwards, and in subsequent information that has been provided to us by the Louisiana Department of Economic Development, we apparently have at least 120 days in which to act on the request as of the date it was submitted, which is March the 16th. So while I'm not encouraging that we take until July to do it, we certainly have the time to defer it for 2 more weeks. And I have a number of questions about what's involved in the process. Mr. Nake has mentioned a couple of them, but I think of concern to me is that only the sheriff, the school board, and the council are requested to have some input on any application for a property tax exemption. And my question is, how does it impact the other parish-wide taxing authorities in Lafayette Parish? And it does. And it's of concern to me that I'm not certain at this particular time if they are aware of the application and if they are aware of the request that's being made of this council. So certainly that's something that to be taken into consideration. The other thing is that we have no established criteria for making a decision, none. And this is an issue that needs to be addressed. And then finally, in looking at the application and looking at all of the information in the packet they were received, I saw nothing with reference as to how much potential property tax income would be lost if the exemption was approved by whatever governing body. We made the request of the assessor, and he was very courteous and very quick in responding, and we know what dollars are involved. So that's all important as we make our decision. So that is one of the many points that brought me to ask for and suggest a deferment, and it's not going to do any harm to put it off for another 2 weeks, and we could go all the way to July, although I'm not encouraging that because the applicant is waiting for a response. But let's understand exactly what is being requested and what will be the long-term impact of our decision. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Lewis?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My concerns are about, like Mr. Conk was saying, that the property tax. I just want to make sure that we clear that it's the equipment that we're talking about. They want to have tax exemption on the equipment, not necessarily the property, the building, from my understanding. And another concern I have is that the applicant is telling us that they are an LLC corporation, but I'd like to know who the individual are, because I think that's very important that we know who we're dealing with if we move forward with that. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Bellard.
Yes, Ms. Toops, and I'm just out of curiosity, on the back page when we put fiscal impact, number 5, we put an X on no fiscal impact on this, similar to what Mr. Conk said. And I know you didn't prepare this at all, but in the future when we have something, can you, as the CFO, alert us when there will be a fiscal impact, even though it's not on here? Possibly. I know you can't read everything. I'm just saying this is something new to me that a lot of times.
I'm not able to provide you with that information because I don't have it.
Okay.
We have to reach out to the assessor, which when I did receive your emails, some council members emailed me. I did forward those to the assessor, but I don't have access to that information, so I wouldn't be able to provide it. And you know, I didn't have anything to do with the completion of this form.
I didn't think so.
Right.
But I guess
And
in the-
Mr. Bellard, it was the council staff who did the submittal form, and at the time of submission as well, we did not have that information, but we did request it of the assessor later. So, but in the future with these, and as you just indicated, this is a new process altogether, so this is something new, but in the future, we can look at the fiscal impact
Perfect.
prior
That's
to.
all. Perfect. That's all I asked. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Laurie, I wasn't singling out you. You're just the CFO. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Robideau, you have the floor.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that when we do ask for fiscal impact on that, it's important to remember that the answer to that question has always been
budget-wise, probably
current fiscal impact. And if it's a new piece of equipment or a new business moving here, then the fiscal impact is zero. Now, the potential impact is something different, but on that specific question, it's saying what impact is it having on the budget as we know it? And so we may want to change that to include potential fiscal impact, but that's why it's a no. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone was clear on that. wasn't a mistake by staff or anything like that.
Right.
Thank
Thank you for the clarification. That's kind of the same thought process I was having. It was zero to the actual budget, but the potential was big. Councilman Cole?
And I would just make a formal request in the future that either it comes through staff or from LEDA or from the administration, that number be included. And that's one of the things that needs to be noted. The protocol in this was rather unusual. This did not come from the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, did not come from the administration. It came to the council directly from the applicant. Neither did it come from the state. So this is a little bit unusual.
And it didn't come from Kevin Naki. I know my name's up there, but, and I am from Scott, but no, it did not come from me. You know, I just want to say this council, and I think administration, we are pro-business. We like business, and we love people coming to our parish and our community. And I think our community supports good business and good products. It's not that we are against helping business. It's just that, you know, we have to take in consideration all of the shortfalls and the shortage in the parish general fund, and we have to make smart decisions moving forward in the future. So we'd like to help as much business as we can, but we also have to be true to our constituents and our taxpayers, and can't ask them in the future for additional revenue when we're letting it walk out the back door by giving these tax breaks. So I think it's important that everybody understands that we want to do the best we can and help as much as we can, but we're just not in a position to just make decisions off the cuff and give things away. We have to look at all options. So with that being said, we have a motion on the floor to defer to April 17th by Mr. Conk and a second by Mr. Annette Cook. And we had our council discussion. Is there any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and please call for the vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
Yes.
4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
Motion to defer to April 17th has been approved. Resolution 19, 2018. A resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council granting a design waiver for the Lajeunesse Road Bridge Replacement Project.
Okay. Got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux, second by Councilman Lewis. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Resolution 20, 2018. A resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council granting design exceptions for the Lajeunesse Road Bridge Replacement Project.
Got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux, second by Councilman Conk. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8? District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? Motion is approved.
Okay, please note that the resolution number 8 item has been deferred indefinitely per Public Works, and we will move right along to ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing. The electronic speaker form is available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Item number 9, just as a reminder, has been pulled. No action taken due to the fact that the building has already been demolished. Moving on to item 10, Liz, can you please read?
Ordinance 36, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the Facile Road Bridge Replacement Project a public necessity and authorizing the acquisition of the necessary rights-of-way, immovable property, and other property rights requisite to the construction of said project, either on an amicable basis or through the use of expropriation process if necessary.
Need a motion and a second? Got a motion by Boudreaux and a second by Councilman Conk. And I'm not seeing any council discussion at this time. Any public comments? All right, keep it rolling.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6? District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? Motion is approved. Ordinance 37, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $351,640.33 from the Doc Duhon Robley Drive Extension Phase 4 project to the Polly Lane Extension Phase 1 project within the Public Works Department for additional funding needed.
Need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Boudreaux, second by Councilman Cook. Not seeing any council discussion at this time. Moving right along. Any public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? District 4? Motion is approved. Ordinance 38, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $30,000 from the Castile Street Turn Lane project to the Pecan Buick Pine Chester Streets Sidewalks project within the Public Works Department for additional funding needed.
Got a motion by Councilman Lewis, second? Second by Councilman Boudreaux. Any council discussion? Not seeing any at this time. Any public comment?
Yes, sir.
All right, call the roll.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 39, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application with the Louisiana Office of State Parks for a Land and Water Conservation Program grant for the Nature Station.
Okay. Got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux, second by Councilman Conk. Council discussion, Mr. Terrio.
Quick question, who do we have addressing this?
Somebody from Community Development, probably. Doctor.
Just a quick question while you're coming up. I see this is, basically it's for a footbridge to connect the existing south trail to the north trail. Water conservation, and I'm showing that there's a match. So depending on what we're going to be receiving, if the grant is approved, what kind of match percentage are we looking at on this?
It's a 50-50 match requirement.
And what is the total amount on the grant that possibly could be received?
The total amount, hold on a second.
Which means if it's a $100,000 grant,
Yes. So that's the potential match that we would have to come up with.
so whatever is granted to us, we're going to have to match 50 or 100%?
50%.
Okay.
So half.
Yeah, so if it's
Yes,
100,000,
sir.
we'll put up 50.
Correct.
Yeah. Is this the first time that we'd applied for this particular one?
Yes, it is. It's my
I
understanding.
don't recall ever seeing a grant for this particular.
Yeah, this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time we've applied for it. Really, we're not quite sure what our chances are of receiving it, but we are in need of funds to assist with the footbridge at the nature station. So, just an opportunity to see if there are some funds that we can acquire for that project.
And if it were granted, the matching funds would come from where?
From our general fund from the nature station,
That's all I
which
have.
we do have the funds to cover the match, you know, of course, if we were to receive the grant.
So you do have the funds available to cover a match at this point,
Yes, sir.
even if it was the maximum amount? 100,000, you have 50,000 in order to match for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, I have one question. I'm looking at the ordinance itself, and it basically says no match is required. What is, so you're saying we have a match? We have to provide a match for the,
There is a 50-50
75?
match requirement, yes.
okay, I didn't understand.
Yes, ma'am. Number 39, yeah, 2018. There is a 50-50 match requirement for the grant.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the old one, I'm sorry.
Yes,
It's the one that was on our thing, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
All right, thank you, that's all I need.
Okay,
Okay. I'm not seeing anything else.
okay.
We're good?
Thank you.
All right. Not seeing any other council discussion. Any comment from the public?
Yes, sir.
Okay, call the roll.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9, District 1,
Yes?
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4, District 5, District 6.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 40, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application with the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine for a Gulf Research Program grant for the Nature Station.
Okay, need a motion. Councilman Boudreaux with a motion, second by Councilman Castillo. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, call the roll.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
District 1,
Yes?
District 2,
Yes.
District 3, District 4, District 5, District 6,
Yes.
District 7. Motion is approved. Ordinance 42, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $193,197.93 from the Rosa Parks Center AOC construction account into the bus monitoring equipment account within the Public Works Department Transit Division to allow for the purchase of ADA announcement equipment, bus tracking equipment, security cameras, and related equipment.
Got a motion by Councilman Combs, a second by Councilman Boudreaux. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Councilman Terrio.
Yes, I see this is up by Public Works. Who do we have who can speak on this particular one? You, Ron? Warren? While you guys are coming up, I see this is for the purchase of ADA announcement equipment, bus tracking equipment, security cameras, and related equipment. We haven't had this in the past, from what I'm aware of, so why at this point are we moving forward with this kind of equipment?
This equipment does exist on the bus today. The money is to replace some old antiquated equipment that's no longer supported by the vendor.
So a vendor is no longer supporting the programs or the equipment that's there, so we have to purchase new equipment in order to deal with a new vendor? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
And how many buses are we looking at?
This money will cover roughly, let me look at my text to make sure I say it right, 15 buses. We have a total of 25 in our fleet. We currently have 3 that have been upgraded to the new equipment.
How long was the old equipment in the buses, if you don't mind me asking?
I have to look at Mr. Mike Mitchell.
Basically, what I'm trying to get at is if we had a contractor that came in that had an agreement with LCG, if it was only in there for a few years and now we're replacing it, is that what happened, or is it older equipment?
I'm Mike Mitchell, I'm the transit manager. So that vendor, we were working with them since 2003, and then they were bought out by another company, and their costs were like really high. They ultimately required us to change some of the hardware that was inside of the buses, and those costs were extraordinarily high, like I said.
Okay, so let me clarify. Are we still with the same vendor, or we have a new vendor?
It's a new vendor.
New vendor, okay. And do we have a contract with them for a certain period of time on these?
No, we don't have a contract with them, so to speak. We will have to go for bid, but the equipment has been on the 3 units that Mr. Abity indicated. They were installed on some of the buses that we received over the last couple of years.
Okay, final question. What I'm trying to get at is that new equipment that's installed, it'll be supported probably for at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Any public comment? All right, please call the roll.
District 9,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes?
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6, District 7,
Yes.
District 8.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 43, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a joint collaboration agreement with CGI Federal Incorporated, establishing the rights and obligations of Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and CGI Federal Incorporated relative to the Nome Nation application.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Boudreaux, a second by Councilman Lewis. All right, just want to remind everyone, we have an amendment on the floor. Mr. Boudreau will go ahead and offer that amendment. Do we have a motion in a second for the amendment being offered? Huh?
Second.
Lewis?
For the
No.
amendment?
On the amendment?
On the amendment, who seconded the amendment?
Mr. Lewis said he'll second the amendment.
Thank you.
So the first motion, Boudreau, Lewis, and then on the amendment, Boudreau, Lewis. Okay? All right. Any council discussion on the amendment? None? Okay. Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. So go ahead and call the vote on the amendment first.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8? District 9?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay. Any council discussion on the ordinance as amended? Mr. Terrio?
Yes, so who do we have who can discuss this? I think she's coming back up to visit us. If you don't mind, can you go ahead and first state what CGI stands for?
Will, you want to come up with me? Yeah, you can go there.
Hi, I'm William Labar with CGI. The company was founded in 1976, and at the time it stood for Consultants for Government and Industry. At this point, we don't really, you wouldn't really enumerate it anymore. It's kind of like IBM. You wouldn't call them international business machines too much anymore.
So just CGI.
Yep.
All right. Let me get into one question that I have, and maybe you can do a little clarifications, and not an issue with the work that's being performed here, but inside the documentation that you provided to the council, the phrase IP is in there in a number of paragraphs, where the section I want to ask you questions about is that intellectual property rights, which means that you guys would have current access, future access, or acquired access at any given time. So is there any way you guys can elaborate on that?
You want me to do it first?
Mr.
Ryan.
Escott?
Or Mike.
My bad.
Sure.
Mr. Mike.
I'll take a stab, and Ryan can bail me out if as necessary. The purpose of this agreement is just that, LCG would not really have any intellectual property rights in the Gnome Nation app because it was developed by CGI. So the purpose of this agreement is to give LCG some rights to the intellectual property similar to what CGI would have. The agreement provides that either CGI or LCG could use the app or commercially exploit the app in any way that they saw fit without having to account to the other, which is something that, again, LCG would not have in the absence of this agreement. But I'm not sure what you meant by access, because CGI would have free reign to use the app on their own as they saw fit, including to reuse it some other place, or to even to sell it as would LCG. So those rights exist with both parties here.
Okay, so, and it would apply to any future rights?
Yes, sir.
For that also? Okay. Now, in dealing with the app that we have that's available, naturally, nothing is produced for free. Are there any charges to the taxpayers of Lafayette, LCG, in order to provide or oversee or maintain, manage? If you're using any kind of .com, .net, any kind of site, there's an annual fee, there are administrative fees, there are hosting fees.
So the app is actually going to live on the LCG server. There is no cost to us for them to develop the app, and there will be no cost to the citizens to use it as well. We are in consultation with our IT department to move it onto our server. There are already staff members on staff who handle software for LCG, so it will just be part of what they are already doing. So there is no current cost to LCG or the taxpayers for this application.
And one final thing, Mr. Avery, you'd mentioned about the intellectual property. In the future, it grants LCG the right to possibly sell information or data. Is that correct on what you had?
Either party, yes, sir.
Any part. So
Not data.
that's where I was trying to get at. So anybody who's getting on your app, would they have to disclose that possibly they're volunteering, or the information that they provided will be shared with any other entities?
No information that they log into with the app will be provided to anyone else. All they have to provide when they log in is an email address. Everything else is optional. And I have access to everything on the back end that no one else has access to. So we will not be sharing anyone's information.
Okay. Very good. That's all I have. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Not seeing any other council discussion. Any public comments on the ordinance as amended?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and call the vote on the ordinance as amended.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 6?
Yes.
District 7? Yes. District 8? Yes. District 9?
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance as amended is approved.
Okay. We're going to be moving right along to an appeal. This is a public hearing, and the electric speaker form is available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Liz, can you please read?
Appeal of Planning Commission action, James P. Abear, PC 2017-18.
Okay, thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to call someone up from D&P, typically Sarah Gary, for an explanation on the appeal.
Okay, good evening. My name is Sarah Gary. I'm the Development Manager for Development and Planning. And this is a appeal from the Planning Commission. They were granted preliminary approval for the subdivision of 8.541 acres of property into 3 lots for residential use and 1 lot for commercial use at the February Planning Commission. The property owner did appeal the Planning Commission's decision, and they are requesting the following conditions be waived. So here are the 3 residential lots here. You see there are this lot here, and then this lot right here. These 2 lots right here are called flag lots. Think of it just like a flag pole. Here's the pole portion of your lot, and here's the flag portion of each of the lots. So pole here, flag, flag. And here's the 1 commercial lot on Vero School Road. So one of the waivers that they are asking for in the action letter is condition number 14. And basically what the rule says is that when you create a flag lot, your pole portion or the staff portion of your lot cannot exceed 200 feet. Both of these flag lots are exceeding the 200-foot maximum that we have. So they are asking for a waiver of that. The second condition that they're asking for is condition number 15. And what we've asked, this is a re-subdivision. This originally came forward to us at the beginning of 2017, and in their original submission, they were creating these 2 flag lots were just regular lots off of a private street. So when this originally came through, we did not have the requirement for any type of street because they were meeting the block length requirement. They decided that the private street was going to be a little too expensive to construct, so they came in and they re-subdivided with the flag lot options. So because they no longer meet block length, the requirement for a street came about. I'm going to fast forward, and you guys have this in your, I think, folders. So this is something that traffic put together for us. So here is our 2 flag lots. Here is the other lot. As you can see, we've got a stub out here. This is Landon's Cove. So we have a stub out here. And what we're asking is for a dedication only, not a construction, dedication only through the portion of their property, so I'm going to go back here, 50-foot right-of-way dedicated from this point to this point only of right-of-way. No construction, just right-of-way. So they are asking for a waiver of that. And as you can see, I mean, here's, the reason for that is because it makes the alignment. Again, it's only through their property. Once this property comes into plat, they'll have to, we may be back here whenever that happens. Same thing with this portion and the same thing with this portion. As that's how we get these, what we consider local roadways, is as they come through, we make the requirements as necessary. Then they were required both sidewalks on Mill Creek Road and on Barrow School Road. The Planning Commission did waive the sidewalks along Mill Creek. However, they did not waive them on Barrow School Road because as part of the Barrow School widening project, sidewalks will be required. So we are going to have sidewalks a little ways past Vincent Road. So what they're asking for is that condition number 17, which has to do with the sidewalks on Barrow School Road, not be waived, but be modified to allow for them to construct the sidewalks prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for any commercial business. It's kind of standard operating procedures for commercial lots because we just kind of have a lot of control over those commercial sites more than we do on residential sites. So those are the three things that they are asking for. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Councilman Castillo.
Thank you, sir. Sarah,